Welcome to WDW Escape, brought to you by WDW Magazine. This week we take an imaginary trip to the most magical place on Earth as we imagine the first time in forever. The May issue of WDW Magazine is the Music to My Ears issue, and celebrates the many ways that Disney uses the music we've grown up loving to shape our magical experiences. Whether it be in the parks themselves or elsewhere on WDW property, the music we may not even realize we are hearing is an essential part of the experience, and a direct line to the emotions of every guest, big and small. Even the music that plays while you wait on the telephone to book your next Walt Disney World vacation has all of the feels. Can you think of any other hold music that makes you as happy as that does? Most of the music that we experience at WDW is carefully delivered to us, with all of the skill we have come to expect from Disney Imagineering. It transitions us from land to land, puts us in the mood for adventure, or wonder, or comfortable nostalgia, whatever's on the menu next. There is one place where the music comes from you, however, and where it doesn't really matter if it sounds all that great. In the heart of Disney's Hollywood studios, it is, for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration. Walt Disney Animation Studios films have featured many memorable songs over the years, but has there ever been a kids' culture musical juggernaut like Frozen? Within weeks of its opening in 2013, it seemed like every little girl in America, and most of the boys, knew every word of every song. To say nothing of Mom and Dad, who pretended to be grumpy about endless repeat listens of Let It Go, but who could easily mortify their offspring with a public duet of Love is an Open Door. If any Disney musical could sustain a sing-along show that the whole family could enjoy, it was this one. And back in the day, before Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land came along, it wasn't even that outrageous a misuse of a fast pass to lock down a good seat in the Hyperion Theater for a Disney dad like me, working hard to please his inscrutable little girl. Whatever else happened on the rest of that holiday, she was going to be in the same room as Anna and Elsa, and that was everything. Of course, it took a little while. The royal historians of Arendelle may not be who you're there to see, but they are the real stars of the show. A his and hers comedy duo who boil down the story of Frozen into its essential building blocks. They interact with entrances and exits by the characters from the films, all conveniently looking for Elsa, just as my daughter was. The historians keep things moving along, keep the show on the rails, and encourage everyone to sing along at the top of their lungs as they follow the bouncing ball of the projection that may well qualify as one of the world's biggest karaoke machines. And like a night out at karaoke, the experience is not about kidding yourself into thinking that you sound terribly good, so much as it is about making a big, joyful noise, filling the air with music that you love. It could have been something that we did one time, but we never outgrew the show. We all got older, but not much wiser. My kids got more adventurous, and the available rides got better and better, but every trip back to Hollywood Studios had to include another visit with our old friends, the royal historians. It was perhaps on our fourth return visit to the court of Arendelle that those same royal historians helped me to deeply embarrass my children in what has been called the Time Daddy Laughed Too Much. The female lead we had seen before, she was great, but the male lead was new to us, and they were hysterical together. Or at least I thought so, to the point that they more or less stopped the show to poke fun at the Disney dad who was laughing so hard there were tears running down his cheeks. And of course that poor fool was me. In my defense, I was having a very nice time, singing loudly and badly and getting swept up by it all. My son thought Daddy getting singled out was funny stuff. My daughter? She was just glad that I hadn't embarrassed her in front of Elsa. Because when Elsa finally does appear, that is the moment that the entire audience has been waiting for. And hundreds of children that range from very small indeed to not as small as they used to be, belt out Let It Go like an anthem, in one powerful, passionate voice, each one working hard to be a little more worthy of the Queen's attention than the next. And suddenly, it is all over. Parents gathering belongings and shuffling to the exits, deeply grateful for 30 minutes of some of the best air conditioning on property. That is the end of the show. Except the time that it wasn't. It was 2017, and Disney Pixar's Coco was about to hit theaters in a few weeks. Today it is one of our very favorite family films, but at the time, what was most hotly anticipated in my house was the fact that something called Olaf's Frozen Adventure was going to play before the movie. We knew that it was a Christmas special made for television, and we had probably seen a teaser with a fruitcake joke in it, and other than that, it was a total mystery to us. I wondered if there was a chance of a holiday overlay. But of course there was no way that would happen, I thought. The show hadn't even come out yet. It couldn't happen. And then it did. A few awkward lines I hadn't heard before after Let It Go finished to bring things around to Christmas, and then they just went for it. We went from singing together to listening in astonishment as we heard brand new songs from beloved characters for the very first time ever. Ring in the Season, That Time of Year, When We're Together. I think they played everything except the Ballad of Flemingrad. Sorry, Christoph, your song has been cut again. To tell the truth, I think a lot of the smaller audience members were a little confused, and probably some of the moms and dads too, but we knew exactly what was happening. It was unforgettable. The very best sneak preview we had ever heard. These days, Olaf's Frozen Adventure is one of our favorite holiday specials, but in my house, those songs will always belong to those live performers who shared them with us first, in a magical moment that came along for the first time in forever. And that is part of the power of music. It tells a story to our hearts, one that we can keep precious to ourselves as a part of a happy memory, but which is best shared together in loud, joyful voices. This has been WDW Escape, brought to you by WDW Magazine. If you enjoy these programs, please consider leaving a rating or review wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed this, you're sure to love the all-new content at WDW Magazine, available in print or digital editions. Visit wdw-magazine.com and escape with us today.